Hey, welcome back, and in this video I'm going to share with you what is appointment setting and what's it like being an appointment setter. In the previous videos that I posted, many people have commented basically saying, this sounds pretty interesting, how can you make money online doing this thing, and what is appointment setting? So I'm going to break down basically the ins and outs of this industry. I'll try to be concise and entertaining. Let's get into it. So the easiest way to think about appointment setting is you are connecting the right people with the right products and services. That's the easiest way to describe it. Now let's break down exactly what I mean by that, because there's a lot more that goes into this. So many of you know there's tons of influencers out there on the internet doing their thing, influencing others, posting content, whatever they do. The thing about those influencers is many of them actually have coaching and consulting packages that range anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 to $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, $30,000, $50,000. So your job as an appointment setter is to find people who might benefit from some of those products and services and connect them to the salespeople who then take them through a sales process and try to close them on those high ticket packages. That is probably the easiest way to describe appointment setting. So literally you're just texting people and you're scheduling appointments with closers. But what happens in between, right? Like what's actually going on in between? Well, in between, you need to qualify people and make sure they have the time, the resources, they actually have a problem that they're looking to solve. And that's pretty much what you're doing. You're just qualifying people. You're also following a script, right? You know how some salespeople, they have a sales script that they need to take people through? Well, as an appointment setter, you're kind of doing a similar thing, except you're not selling the product. That's very important. You are not trying to generate a need out of the blue. You're not doing that. If there's no need, there's no appointment. If there's no pain, there's no appointment. Makes no sense, okay? Let's get that out of the way. You are not there trying to sell the product. That's the salesperson's job. You are there to sell the call with the salesperson and to make sure that the problem that the person is experiencing can actually be solved by the thing that we're selling here, right? So, for example, let's say I am an appointment setter for a fitness influencer, and this fitness influencer has like a full year subscription that they're selling for $2,000, where they do, nutrition and maybe like how to get in shape and some like accountability and stuff like that. So my job as an appointment setter would be to go through their followers, people who are commenting on their posts, people who are messaging that influencer, ask them a few questions, and then see basically qualify them by asking some of those questions. So like I mentioned earlier, some of those questions typically include if this person is financially able to invest into something like that. It's also asking if they actually want to get in shape, if they actually want to do it, if there's a need for it. Time is another important one, right? So are they actually looking to do this right now? Or is this something that they're like planning on doing? It's somewhere down the road. They're not really sure if this is important for them or not right now. So yeah, you're basically qualifying on those few things. And other important ones would also be specific to the offer. So let's say if the fitness coaching is just for like, busy moms. You want to make sure you're speaking to a busy mom. Know what I'm saying? You don't want to be speaking to some old jack dude, because that will make no sense for that sales call, right? So I hope this makes sense, guys. I'm really trying to dumb it down for people who have no idea what appointment setting is. So now that we got that out of the way, how do you make money with appointment setting? That's a good one. That's a nice one. So as an appointment setter, I want to say on average, you will probably make around $4,000 to $6,000, maybe $7,000 every single month. It just depends on what offer you're on. Like there's some businesses that are just so early and so in their like startup phases that it may not even make any sense to be an appointment setter for them. And the reason why I say this is because they're probably not going to be able to pay you adequately. As an appointment setter, you basically get paid either base pay, so like a monthly recurring general payment, plus commissions, or you're just getting paid commissions, or you're just getting paid a base pay. So it just depends, right? So if you are on a base pay and commissions, typically smaller startup businesses will not be able to pay you that much. But if you are working for a more established business, then the chances of you getting paid decent amount of money, like $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a month, are way higher. The reasons for that is there's way more people that you can speak with, and therefore there's way more sales conversations that you can book, and therefore way more closed appointments that you get your commissions on are probably going to happen, because the more calls you put on the calendar, the more money you're probably going to make. Now, granted, those calls need to be qualified and fucking ready to go. Ready to pay, that is. They need to be ready to pay. So as you can see, it can easily get complex with how many moving parts there are, especially if you've never done setting before. So if you want, there's a description to my free course and a free community. There's over, 200 and something appointment setters in there. So if you want to check it out, it's totally free. You already know what it is, is in the description. But if you're just trying to figure out this whole appointment setting thing by yourself on your own, I just wouldn't recommend that. Okay, so now that we have the basics of what appointment setting is out of the way, we can get into what's it like being an appointment setter. So usually appointment setters work at home from their computer or from their phone. Yeah, it's pretty chill, as you can see. The work hours are pretty flexible, but you have to be mindful of when people are replying to you, right? Because your job and your livelihood and how much money you can make basically depends on the conversations that you have with these people on the internet. And if you're sending out hundreds and hundreds of messages there every single day and no one's replying to you, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. So a day in life as an appointment setter for me was something like this. I would wake up around, regular wake up time, 7, 8 in the morning or whatever. I had the time to go to the gym. I had the time to walk the dogs. I had the time to eat breakfast. And then basically from around 8 in the morning until noon is when would be the hot time to book calls for me. So I would probably book anywhere from 5 to 7 calls in the morning. And I hit my mark of how many calls I had to book for that day. So for the rest of the day, I pretty much spent either learning more about sales because I really wanted to be a closer, like many of you out there. That's a whole different story. I didn't like closing at all. Closing is not what you think it is. It's way more complicated than people make it out to be. But basically, I would work pretty much part-time, and I was able to make at least $5,000 every single month. And then some other months I was able to get close to $7,000. And I live in Canada, so making money in US or making USD money is probably the biggest game changer for any Canadian out there listening to me. Man, you can easily make 10K per month if you're working for a US-based company. Working from home, you do have the whole day to yourself for majority of the day, as long as you hit your KPI, which honestly, some days is really hard to do, but other days is really easy. Appointment setting is not a consistent thing. It is not like you can just clock in and do your job the whole day and then you get out and you did well or you didn't do well. With appointment setting, you either hit the amount of people that you book onto sales calls or you don't. And if you don't, you kind of feel like shit, to be honest. But if you do, good for you. So something to watch out for, especially people who are just getting into the industry, don't ever associate your own self-worth with how many calls you book on the calendar, because that is a very dangerous place to be in. A lot of the stuff that we do is outside of our control. The thing that we control is just showing up, sending messages, and following the process. And then every once in a while you have to do objection handling, you need to do some admin work and make sure the closers know oh, I have a call with this and this person, here's the notes on the person, their situation, what they're going through, what they need help with. all that boring stuff. And then making sure that you actually follow up with people that you maybe haven't booked already, or who are a little bit on the fence, who need a little bit more nurturing. So that was pretty much my day. So I would wake up, I would work 8 to 12 or 8 to 1, and then I would consume a lot of content on setting and sales, just so I can get better at my craft. And then in the evening was another kind of like hot block of appointment setting, is anywhere from like 4 p.m. until maybe 9 p.m. or something like that. It just depends on where you are, what time zone you're in. I was in Eastern, majority of my clientele was in Eastern, so I was able to book people in the morning, in the evening, right? So before they go to job, and then kind of like at the lunch break, and then after people are done with their work. That was like another hot block because people were on their phones. So yeah, like if for whatever reason you couldn't book many people in the morning, you know you have the evening time available, and then that mid-afternoon until before 4 p.m. it's kind of like the graveyard time, you know, there's like no one replying to you, everybody's busy at work, nobody wants to speak to you. It's really annoying in those times, especially if you didn't book as many people as you wanted in the morning. You're kind of screwed. You have to wait until like way later in the evening. But it's not impossible, right? Like during times that are a little bit more quiet, it's really good to do like your admin work and making sure you're following up with people and just sending out messages and content and doing some like boring stuff that also involves being an appointment setter and like communicating with the team and all that jazz. But yeah, so when I was setting, I'll probably finish my day around like 4, sometimes 3 in the afternoon, and that's how I made 5 to 8K every single month. Now, I'm not saying this is how everybody makes money. There's some people that work 12-hour days. There's some people that are doing it part-time. It really depends on the offer. If you want me to break down the math behind appointment setting, let me know in the comments, because that needs a whole other video in and of itself. There's quite a bit of math involved in like how much money appointment setters make, how it works, how much money you can generate, what are the best offers you can sell on, like all of that jazz are kind of like the variables. So if you want me to break that down, let me know. I'll make another video separate just for you. But yeah, that's basically a day in life of an appointment setter. It's pretty chill. A lot of my friends who are appointment setting still, sometimes they don't even leave the bed. Like they're just on their phone until afternoon and they're chilling, booking appointments. Like it's pretty laid back job until unless you can hit your KPI. So yeah, hopefully that was helpful for you guys. I tried to break it down as much as I could. Let me know what else you need help with, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh yeah, don't forget to subscribe, smash that button. You know what to do. I'm not gonna bore you with this stuff. See you later.